Hello, thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial / craft with me using this KSCRAFT men's shirt and tie card die. This is a brand new die that just was released over in the KSCRAFT shop, so I wanted to put this together with you guys. This is my first time putting it together. I haven't done a sample yet, so we're going to figure it out together, but it looks pretty easy to put together, so I think we'll be good to go. All right, so first up, I'm going to use this pattern paper right here. This is the Authentique Dapper collection. This is an old one. This is from 2016, but you guys have heard me say a million times I'm trying to use up my stash, and it's really cute and fun, kind of vintage men's collection. So we're going to use this. In case you're wondering, I store my 6x6 paper pads in these zipper 7x7-inch bags. I got them on Amazon years ago. If I can find them, I'll link them in the description below in case you're interested. But I like to store them in here so that if I have scraps, they don't fall out and get lost or bent or broken. I'm one of those people who uses every scrap of paper. So that's how I store my 6x6. Okay, so I've used the die set. I've actually cut everything apart already, and I've cut it all out so that we can save us a little bit of time. And so we are going to lay this thing out and see how it comes out. Okay, so first up, you are going to want to cut out your stitched rectangle in the pattern paper that you want your shirt to be. So this is going to be my shirt, and it's kind of this greenish blue plaid, actually checkered color. And so I've cut this out in this. I've cut the collar out, and I cut this little strip here with the pointy angle. Okay, I've also cut my suspenders. These are these thin strips here, and I cut these in a white stripe. So what we're going to do first is lay this out. So I think it will be easiest if we kind of lay it out and get an idea of what it will look like, and then we can move things around as needed. So we're going to take these little suspenders and put them on either side, and that's going to be where those go. And then we're going to take the collar, okay? And the collar took me a minute to figure out, but the top that does not have the stitching goes at the top of the card. Okay, so the part without stitching goes up here. I don't know why there's no stitching up there, but there's not. Okay, so that's our collar. And then this arrow piece here, this is the part where your buttons are going to go down the center, and this is kind of the background lining piece. And it basically goes right underneath this colored part right here. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, and then I cut out, there's another strip that goes on top of that. I just cut it out in the same pattern. You could do different colors. I was trying to keep it a little streamlined because I'm going to have several patterns going on here. So I have cut it out in the same blue pattern, and it's going to go right there. Okay, then I have cut out my little suspender ends, and those are going to go down here. And I cut these out in a dark brown cardstock. And then I've got my bow tie, and it layers here. And again, you could do this in different colors. I'm going to add some foam tape to give it some dimension so that you can actually see the layers. But that's going to go up here on the top. Okay. And then this teeny tiny little piece right here, this goes in the center of the bow. Again, you could cut that out in a separate color if you wanted to. And then these little pieces are going to go on the suspenders in the center. And I don't know a whole lot about suspenders, but I think they just kind of layer on there like that, or sort of. Okay, so that's basically the shirt. Okay, it also comes with some button dies. I'm going to try to use actual buttons on my shirt, so I didn't cut those out, but they are super cute. You could definitely cut them out and layer them on. I am going to try to find some buttons small enough. I just ordered some tiny buttons from Buttons Galore and More, but they haven't arrived yet. So we're going to look in my stash and see if I can find enough to fit, and if not, then I will die cut the paper buttons. So we will see how it goes. Okay, so let's go ahead and start gluing all of this together and adding our foam tape, and then I'll show you how to turn this into a pocket and an actual card. But I think we'll get the shirt part done first. So what I'm going to do is clear all this off now that we kind of know what we're doing, and I'm just going to set all this stuff over here to the side so I don't forget. And I think I'm going to start with the suspenders first. I am not a measurement person. I am an eyeball it person. So if you are a measurer, then this would be the time for you to measure. I am just going to eyeball it. I'm going to use my Barely Arts glue, which is my favorite glue because I really like, well, I like the glue, but I really like the precision tip as well. And I'm just going to add a little glue to each of the suspender pieces. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to put them where I think they should go. And again, I'm just going to eyeball it. So, oh, one thing I will say is they need to go at the top. So at the bottom, remember your little suspender piece is going to go at the bottom. So you'll want to line it up with the top of your shirt. Okay, I think that looks pretty straight. Okay, so there's my first suspender. This looks a little, this is the good thing about the glue. I can reposition it for at least a minute or two. Well, maybe not quite a full minute until I get it just right. Okay, then I'm going to take my other one and I'm going to glue it on the other side and try to make it about the same distance. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to go ahead and add these little suspender pieces with foam tape. So you can use any kind of foam tape you want. I like the kind from Dollar Tree because it's very thin, so it adds dimension without adding a bunch of dimension. And I actually really like that. So I'm just going to cut a little piece off and add it to the back and then line this up so that it's here at the bottom. And that will give us a little bit of dimension there. And then do the same thing on the other side. This is such a fun little die set. So cute. Okay. Then I'm going to be ready to put my middle strip piece down, I think, next. So I'm going to put some glue on that. And this one we are going to line up with the bottom. And I'm going to put it right in the center, or at least as close to the center as I think. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so just like that. And then I'm going to take this other sort of arrow type looking piece and I'm going to layer that on top of it. Okay. You could have a lot of fun kind of just playing with the patterns in this collection for sure. Okay, then I'm going to put my collar on, and typically what I would do is put some foam tape on my collar, but I'm not going to do that because I'm going to put my bow tie on top of it, and I don't want the I'm going to put foam tape on the bow tie. So what I'm going to do is line this up with this arrow here at the top. Can y'all see that? Hopefully it's... Is it focusing? Hopefully. So that little arrow is kind of your guide to where the collar goes. Okay, so we're going to put that there. And then this one, same thing. And remember, the non-stitched piece or side goes at the top. And then, there we go. And we're going to line it up there with the arrow. Okay, can y'all see that? Okay, so that is our little shirt. So it's looking cute already. Okay, then we're going to put the bow tie. I'm going to go ahead and layer the bow tie up. First, I'm going to put some foam tape on the top layer. And again, this is why I like this thin foam tape, because I can actually put several layers on top of each other. So I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to put a little here and here. Okay, and I'm going to just peel that off and put that on top of my bow tie. This is going to be so cute. You could use this die for all kinds of occasions, not just Father's Day. Okay, so see, I've got my little bow tie there, and basically I think it just lines right up with that arrow so that you can see a little bit of the collar peeking out down here at the bottom. So I'm pretty sure that's how that works. I'm going to put more foam tape on it. Now that I've got those two pieces layered up, I'm going to put some more on the back of the whole thing. So again, that's really why I like using this thinner stuff, because you can put multiple layers. But I want the bow tie to be really dimensional. I'll make sure this, let me trim this foam tape. I've got it a little thick. Okay, so I've added my bow tie up here, and now I'm going to add this little center piece, and I've put a little bit of foam tape on that, and I'm just going to line it up with my bow and put that on top. So I've actually got 3 layers of foam here on this bow tie, but because it's the thin stuff, it's not super bulky. Okay, now we're going to put these little pieces here, and again, I'm going to just kind of eyeball it and try to get them in an even spot, and I'm just going to use my glue to glue those down. Okay, so I've glued those down, and now I'm going to take these little pieces and I'm going to glue those down on top. But again, I'm going to use some foam tape and just put each one of those right there on top of that, just like that. Okay, so that's my card so far. Now we're ready to put the buttons on, and I really want to add white buttons. So I'm going to look in my stash and see if I can find some that I think will work for this card. So we'll see. Hold on. Okay, so these are the only white buttons I could find in my stash currently. Like I said, I ordered some mini ones, but they haven't arrived yet. So these are too big, I think. I don't like this. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut the buttons that come in the collection in white cardstock, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I die cut those tiny buttons out of white cardstock. You can see they're much better sized. Super cute. So I'm going to use some little tiny foam dots in my stash to add those to my project. So I picked up these, I think at a scrapbook expo, and they're just teeny tiny little foam dots. So we're going to try this out. These are very thick foam, so we'll see if I like them. This is part of my process, is trial and error always. So I'm sure most of you guys do the same thing. I have to just see if I like it, and then if not, we'll glue them flat. But I like for it to have dimension. Okay, so I'm going to put this down here. And we'll see. I don't know. It is very cute. Okay, I will put the foam dots on there and I'll be right back. Okay, so I put the foam dots on the buttons, and I think that looks cute. That makes them look more three-dimensional. And then under over here on these suspenders, there are these little circles, and I decided to put some little enamel dots there. I found these ones in my stash. These are called, they're from Photo Play, and they're called, I think they're called Luke 2, and they had kind of this light brown color here, so I just picked the largest ones and put them in the center. If I'd had some dark brown ones, I would have put those there, but out of all the enamel dots I had no dark brown, if you can believe that. So a crafter's dilemma. We have all this stuff, but it's never what we need, right? Okay, so that's pretty much the finished card. So now what we're going to do is create the pocket, and to adhere this to, you could just put this on top of a card and, you know, give it away. Good to go. Put a little sentiment on it, call it done. But the set does come with a little pocket that you can put a card inside of. So let me, I cut out 2 of those pieces, and basically they are these rectangles, and they have little folds here on the sides. Okay, and I cut out 2 of those, and basically you're going to put them together, wrong sides together, and create a pocket. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just sort of make sure these score lines are really deep, and then we're going to fold them and use our bone folder to sort of smush it down. Okay, we have a lot of white going here, so I put some gray paper down. So basically we're just gonna, I like to run my bone folder over the score line just to make sure that it's nice and strong, and so that there's no question about where it's gonna get scored. And so I just run it over that and just make sure it's really visible and deeply etched, basically. Okay, so I'm just going to do that, and then I am going to, is this focusing? Okay, I think we're good now. Okay, so then I'm going to fold this in, okay, like that, fold on the lines, okay, and then I'm going to take my bone folder and just go over it to make sure that the edges are nice and smushed down. And so I'm going to do that on all three sides. I'm going to do the same thing with the other piece. Okay, so both pieces, fold, and smush down. And I'm using heavyweight cardstock because I like for my projects to be really sturdy. That's totally up to you what you prefer to use. Okay, so now we have two pieces where the fold is on the inside here. You can glue these together and create like a really sturdy fold. You can take one and trim off the folds and then just glue this onto the paper. I think that's what I'm going to do just because I think it will be easiest to do it that way, but you can totally just glue these together if you want as they are. I just think that the card will probably slip in there a little bit easier if I trim one off. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so I just trimmed one off so that the folds were gone, and then I'm just going to glue this onto the other piece so that we create basically a little pocket. So again, I'm going to use my glue to do that. I like to use the glue because it gives me a minute to wiggle everything around into the right spot before it actually dries, and then when it does dry, it's very sturdy. Okay, remember you have wrong sides together. You could use pattern paper for this. I'm just going to use this white heavy-duty cardstock, but you could definitely use pattern paper that coordinates with your collection. Okay, so we're going to just press it down and give it a minute to adhere properly. Okay, once that's dried, then we are going to adhere our shirt front to the outside of the pocket. Just make sure that the top is open up here, right? Because that's where your tag is going to tuck. And so when you're gluing it down, make sure that the tie is up here at the top where the opening is, okay? And you could use, again, adhesive, any kind of adhesive. I'm going to use the glue and glue this down. So there will be a little border around your shirt. So keep that in mind when you're picking the cardstock or paper you're going to use, because you will be able to see it around the sides. Okay, then we have our little shirt pocket here, okay? So I remember I told you I cut another one of these stitched rectangles out. This is going to be the card that slips on the inside. So you can decorate this. You can add pattern paper to it. You can stamp a sentiment, whatever you like. And then it comes with these little tabs up here that you can adhere to the top. And basically you would adhere this and then tuck this inside just like that. And then this would, this little handle basically would be at the top, and you can pull it out, and then the actual card is on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to take a few minutes to decorate this, and then I will put it all together and show you the finished product. Okay, here's the finished product. I've got my shirt die, really cute. On the inside, you've got this little top tag here that you pull out. And then I just trimmed some pattern paper a little bit smaller than this stitched rectangle. This went with the collection, and I can stamp a sentiment here. And then on the back, I could write my actual message, and I use the heavyweight cardstock. I cut out two of these, one with the heavyweight for the back, and then the pattern paper for the front. So again, it will be very sturdy. And this just tucks right in here. And then you have a super cute Father's Day card, graduation card, wedding card. You could use this for all kinds of occasions. So that looks really adorable, I think. So thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you guys have a great day, and I can't wait to see what you guys create with this die set. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.